W.O.N. YouTube Networks is now on Facebook. Check it out. The Sox meet the Dodgers live from Glendale, Arizona, Sunday, March 15th at 1 on UPN 5. Another successful outing for our fourth installment of the Supergirl Underwater Pro fan film series, which means there's a fifth one coming up and we need your help to contribute. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Plus, which game are we going to use for Sox 15 baseball? Will it be MLB 13 the show or MLB 15 the show? We'll talk about that as well, and we'll look back at the year that was for us on the network, for us as human beings in general, for me personally. Two are bad, one is good, and we'll discuss that all coming up on this very first 2015 edition of Ask the Manager. It's time for me to answer your questions. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our 2015 edition of Ask the Manager, our very first edition of Ask the Manager in 2015. Glad you could join us. Yours truly, Jonathan Rios. I am, of course, the creator and broadcaster and director of W.O.N. YouTube Networks and Jimbo Fail Exchange Production. And even though we're not too far away from February, I want to say Happy New Year to all of you. First time I'm seeing all of you folks face to face in 2015. And it's a new year. It's a new year. I think a lot of optimistic things. People want to be optimistic for 2015 because we just got out of a rotten year of 2014, and that's where we're going to start, looking back at 2014. I've said this all along. It was a bad year for almost everybody in concern, except for our network, I can say. But I will tell you why it was such a bad year and why we're more optimistic this year. We were going through all this stuff with the foreign policy with Russia and North Korea and all this kind of stuff. You know, talk about the Ukraine situation and also North Korea hacking Sony and stuff. We haven't heard anything else about that. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with Ukraine and Russia, so maybe they'll get themselves together. We haven't heard anything. I guess that's a good thing. Also, North Korea, the hacking thing, they got sanctioned by U.S. and all this kind of stuff. That was 2014. Now it's time to change the page to 2015, and so far, if you look at some of the things that have been happening, I can say we're kind of getting out of the funk, I would say. There's still a couple of crazy things that are happening in the world that we must get fixed up, which I think we will. I think the thing with the Cuba and U.S. relations is a good sign for that. Other than that, you know, I think it's a long way to go. And, you know, 2014, I look back at 2014. I think it was a year for people to open their eyes because it was such a rotten year for almost everybody concerned. I mean, there's going to be some people that say it was a great year for them. That's them personally. But when you look at what was going on nationwide and global, everything's in turmoil. You got wars here, you got countries invading countries here. You got the threats of World War III, which we heard in September more than often. The ISIS situation, things like that. But I look at 2015 and I feel more optimistic. And for me personally, it's kind of hard to say because I'm going through some personal things, which I will tell you folks in a matter of moments. But I think there will be peace. I think there's going to be changes. You know, I mean, we got to wake up. Well, what we've seen in this country lately is just, and in the world, it's just been mind-boggling, you know. And I think the turning point had to be a couple of weeks ago in December. It was all over the news about the New York Police Department. The two cops getting shot by a guy who hated cops and was it was revenge about Eric Gardner and some other things that are happening in Ferguson, Missouri. And I think that was a turning point of what kind of year it was for this country and also New York. It was nationwide headlines about it, and we don't hear that much anymore. We don't hear that much. I mean, there are protests left and right, yeah, but we don't hear that much anymore. Because I think it just brought to light that police officers are human beings like us, regular human beings. And it touched everybody, and it was a sad Christmas. It was the fact that it happened days before Christmas made it more tragic, and just closed the book on a god awful year. That's just the way it was. And it was a sad time. I can't think of a Christmas time or a year that was so sad and so depressing, and it was. Now, getting back to me, if you follow me on Facebook, and I know many of you have, with your condolences and your comments, but for those who don't follow me on Facebook here, are watching this for the very first time, I'll tell you what has happened. About 2 months ago, my dad's wife had knocked on the door. This was a week before Thanksgiving, and told me that my dad was very sick. He had aggressive cancer, terminal cancer, around the stomach area. It could have been pancreas, it could have been stomach cancer, but it was bad. They had said he'd had days to live. But I will tell you one thing. What has happened, and I'm going through this right now, is that I've tried to see the man. I tried to. I think the following days after I got the news, but we went to Bellevue, and we found that he checked out. Crazy thing is that he checked out 2 days before his wife told me he was dying of cancer, telling me that he was in Bellevue and all this kind of stuff. And it turns out he checked out 2 days before she told me the news. And it wasn't right. It wasn't right. And for the last 2 months, I've been trying to find out what is going on with him. Is he in a hospice? Is he alive? Is he in his house? I mean, we haven't gotten any answer. And it really took a toll. And I tell you, it was. And many of you folks who are watching, you know how it is to lose a parent. Maybe some of you haven't felt that, or lose a loved one or anything like that. But the thing here that makes this more disturbing, for me personally, is the fact that I still don't know anything. His wife refused to open the door. Okay? She told us the wrong information, the messed up information. It just didn't make any sense at all. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. You understand? And Lord help me. I hope this situation never happens with you. Hopefully it never ever happened to you, but it's happened to me. And the fact I still haven't heard any news about what's going on with my dad makes it more disturbing. But again, that's 2014 in a nutshell. That's the way it was for me personally, and the way the world and the nation is. It's nothing but heartbreak, pain, dying, suffering, fighting, hate. It was a troubling year. But a lot of people seem to be very optimistic about 2015. I know I am a little bit, I guess, even though I'm still going through some things, trying to find out what's going on with my dad. But personally, I guess everybody has to feel a little bit optimistic, especially the kind of year that we had in 2014. But that's over and done with. Thank goodness for that. And we just turn a new page and start the year fresh. So that's what we'll attempt to do. But for 2014, for us here at W.O.N, it was another successful year. We've put on a lot of Back in Time episodes. The Sock baseball game casts we did pretty well in. And also we debuted college basketball for the first time on our YouTube channel. And still got a little bit of games to go. We're giving you hockey coverage as well. But the biggie, the two biggies are the Supergirl projects. And that's what we're going to talk about when we come back here on UPN 5's Ask the Manager. We're going to be talking about the successful installments of Supergirl and the Bloody Chases of the Stargirl. But the blockbuster hit of Supergirl 4 really taking this series over the top and making us a household name on YouTube. So stay right where you are. We'll be back following these messages.
Supergirl has the ability to save millions upon millions of lives with her great superpowers. Americans have the ability to save thousands of lives, one at a time.
16,000 people die each year in car crashes that don't have to. Safety belts could save their lives. Safety belts could also prevent thousands from being horribly disfigured or crippled for life. So buckle up. Your life is in your hands.
Fisk calls all my pitches. Even this one for these washable, durable White Sox placemats from your hometown Pizza Hut restaurants. Oh, yeah. Just order any Pizza Hut pizza and get a set of 2 White Sox placemats for just 89 cents. There are 4 White Sox placemats in all, and they're available only at your hometown Pizza Hut restaurants. Hey, what's that? Fork ball. Fork ball? I don't even have a fork ball. Where'd you learn to catch?
Watch out! They're coming! There's no time to lose! It's time to bounce around and spin around! No time to hide! It's time to come out and watch the loony animals! Check it out only on UPN 5! Welcome back to Ask the Manager here on UPN 5. Yours truly, Jonathan Rios. I'm the creator, the director, and owner, and broadcaster of W.O.N YouTube Networks and Jim Bofale Exchange Productions. Keeping you up to date on what's going on in the world and in the YouTube world and for us here at the network. And that takes us to our second topic, and that is the Supergirl Underwater Pearl fan film series. Another successful year for the last 2 installments, Supergirl and the Bloody Traces of Stargirl. Now, I understand the 3rd installment did have a little bit of flaws. It happens, and it's not everybody enjoys it. It's not everybody's favorite. I mean, there's gotta be favorites. It's fine, but it's done well. Good numbers, good positive reviews, and everything else. But the number 4 one is the real kicker and the real successful one that I think I've gotten a lot of messages, a lot of comments about that it's the best out of the 4, which leads us to this announcement, which I think most of you who follow our network know, that we are in the works of Supergirl 5. Supergirl 5 Deadly Seduction. Once again, it'll star Jack LeDoux as the Girl of Steel. And at the moment, slated to play the Agent 1270 character is Avi Blanco. Okay? Now, here's the thing about Avi Blanco. Is that she's slated. She is not right now main co-star because we don't know what's going to happen with her. We were in talks with MMP Studios. They've been telling us this could be a little bit difficult, but they're going to do the best we can. So she is slated to play Agent I-270, which, by the way, people actually thought it was named after a highway. I know it's now. I found out a few days ago it's an I-270, but no, we didn't name it after that. But again, to clarify this, Avi Blanco is slated to play Agent 2I-70, but if she doesn't work out, we're hopefully going to try to get Angel Rose. Now, here's the thing for Supergirl 5. We need your donations, and more than ever before, because this is probably one of the most expensive budget fan films we're doing part of the series. The budget total is $1,620. That's the most out of the 4 installments, and because of pay raise with the actresses, especially Jack LeDoux, who deserves it. Now, at the moment, we have saved up. Well, we got a donation of $50. We still need $950 on our Indigo campaign. You see it on your screen, the link. Just go to it, type it, and try to put in as much donation as you can. It could be $20, it could be $30, $40, $50. Any kind of amount of money helps. We need this done. We're targeting the spring. We do not want to go through like we went through with the 3rd installment, where we said we're going to do it at this time, and yet we kept on postponing it. It took 8 months to put together. We don't want 8 months. We want shorter than that. And right at the moment, we are around the $300 mark because ourselves, me and my partner Jackie and Ricky, have put some money on ourselves aside just in case. We're trying to save at least $650, but we would like you folks to help us out and fill out the remaining $950 we need to get the crowdfunding campaign of Supergirl 5 fully funded. Of course, for more information, click on the link below. The crowdfunding campaign is sponsored by Indiegogo.com. Now, looking back at Supergirl 4 and Supergirl 3, you know, Supergirl 3 was probably the toughest one we had to do because it was 3 characters, 3 actresses, and I think we wanted to do more on-location things, but it would have become a multiple-day shoot. And for the actresses of MMP Studios, you know, they got schedules, they got lives, and they got work and everything else. So it was very, you know, we had to cut a lot of things out of the script. We wanted to do transformation, all this kind of things, but we couldn't do it because of the model schedule, and also become a multiple day script. And unfortunately, we don't have the budget to fund funding to help MMP Studios do more than that. But it was a success. There were flaws. Everybody's told me that, but it's a good film. But the Supergirl 4 one is very funny because I didn't expect to do number 4 quickly, and I did. I was lucky enough to have a couple of bucks in my side, and I actually paid for almost the entire thing, bought the costumes, the props, and I funded most of the project. And, you know, under the circumstances I was in with my father's situation and everything that's gone on in my life, I'm very shocked that I got the Supergirl 4 project finished writing 1, 2, 3. I was shocked, very shocked at that. And for me personally, again, I mean, what more can you say right now? I mean, I'm shocked by it. I guess I'm happy that I got it done 1, 2, 3, but it was a success under the circumstances of what I've gone through. And it's something that I'm happy that I did. I'm happy a lot of people enjoyed it. Angel Rose was absolutely a knockout as Spider Lady 0.0. And speaking of that character, maybe in a couple of months after we finish Supergirl 5 or 6 or whatever, if we decide to go that far, we may want to do a sequel with that character if we want to bring her to the back from the dead. We're not sure, but just tremendous reviews, tremendous positive comments. And I appreciate every single one who has supported this series. We hope to continue to get your support, especially financial support. We need this funded. The last day to fund this is March 13th / 14th because it goes by Eastern and Western time. So please go to Indiegogo.com. Click on this link below that you see on your screen. It'll take you to the Supergirl 5 crowdfunding campaign. All we need is your donations. Right now, we only got a donation of $50. We need $950 to get this project fully funded. So that's where we stand right now. Last day to donate is March 13th / 14th. Supergirl 5, Deadly Seduction from yours truly, W.O.N. YouTube Networks and MMP Studios. It is slated. We are targeting spring of 2015. But, of course, if we don't get that many donations, then we're going to have to push it back a little bit, which we don't want to do, but we're going to have to. So there you go. Alright, folks, finally, as we wrap this up, we talk about sock baseball. Sock baseball is just about a few months away here on W.O.N. YouTube Networks. We will be bringing you 4 preseason games right here on UPN 5. Now, those games are going to be on MLB, or going to be powered by MLB 13 The Show. But here's the biggest question about sock baseball 15 for this year. We are still not sure if we're going to do the games from MLB 13 The Show or MLB 15 The Show. Now, if you noticed last year, we didn't do the games on MLB 14 The Show for 2014 because they did not add the disable home run celebration camera. There was no way to disable it, and you were stuck seeing the player watch the ball go out, yet you couldn't see the ball go out yourself like you see on TV with the camera going up in the air, following the ball into the stands. And that's what killed it for us. We couldn't do the game. We could not play that game, use that game for our game casting purposes, because what we always want to do here on UPN 5 and W.O.N. YouTube is to bring you TV-style game casters, which we have been doing for years, and we intend to continue to do it for years. Problem here is that we just couldn't do it. We just could not do it, and it was disappointing. And also the fact that they didn't have Jose Abreu in the game was more disappointing. So, you know, there was a lot of factors into this. And I do want to apologize to all those who have watched sock baseball, wanted it on MLB 14. It came late the game, that was number 1. But the problem was we couldn't disable the home run camera because there was no option to do that. And that kind of killed our momentum of our look at MLB 14. So we stayed with MLB 13. That could be the case this year, we're not sure. But I will guarantee you we're giving you 4 preseason games of 2015. We made sure the franchise mode goes to 2015, so spring training could be the 2015 season. A lot of new faces, a lot of new places, but of course the uniform's the same and our coverage is the same. And we'll bring it to you starting in March 15th, right here on UPN 5 against the Dodgers, White Sox of New York versus the LA Dodgers from Glendale, powered by MLB 13 The Show in 2015 season mode, actually franchise mode. So we'll bring it to you on March 15th. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this very first 2015 edition of Ask the Manager. Thank you so much for joining us. Glad you could join us here on UPN 5. Coming up next here on UPN 5, we have Terriers basketball. The Terriers taking on the LIU Blackbird. Until then, this is yours truly, John 3Os, and I hope to see you again on the next installment of Ask the Manager. So long, everybody.
You think you've seen the badass side of me? You haven't seen nothing yet.